very special event and very sad of our history, the German Holocaust. We have a very special guest, our friend Hitch, who is here to give her testimony about her life in the concentration camp. At the end of World War I, European countries signed the Treaty of Versailles, where Germany was forced to pay all war costs, leaving the country in a deep economic crisis. For more than 2,000 years, Jews lived all around Europe, but when Hitler got to power, the Nazi anti-Semitic ideology started spreading as his power grew. On 1935, the Nuremberg Laws were published, where all the rights and citizenship of all Jews in Germany was banished and they started being treated as nothing. As Germany expanded, they started moving all Jews into ghettos, which were specific Jew neighborhoods isolated from the rest of the people. People there lived in terrible conditions, and too many people died because of that, of hunger, diseases, and more. However, they organized themselves and created hidden schools, markets to subsist as a community. One of the most known ghettos was the Varsovia one, which had a revolt when they tried to deport them to the concentration camp. As time passed, they started being deported to camps. These ones were divided in three: extermination, concentration, and work camps. The first concentration camp was the Dachau in 1933. Here, the objective was the total extermination of the Jew people. And approximately 1.5 million Jews died not only because of the gas chambers, but of hunger and diseases and the terrible conditions they lived, also of cold. When the Soviets started entering German territory, the German soldiers were afraid they would catch all the Jews. So, because they wanted to exterminate all of them, they made them walk kilometers and kilometers all the way through the city, and this was called the Death Marches. After that, in 1944, the Soviets started discovering the concentration camps and liberated everyone who was on them. On 1945, they found the biggest one, which was Auschwitz-Birkenau, and was concentration camp, extermination camp, and war camp. First of all, can you tell us how was the politics before and after Hitler arrived to your country, and how it affected your social life?
Well, I was only 15 years old at the time, and in school, when the anti-Jews laws started, my friends started treating me differently, and they started not talking to me. But I just ignored it. It wasn't important to me.
Okay, can you tell me what economical effect had the anti-Semitic laws in your family's economy?
When the Germans came in, my father worked in a German factory where they prohibited Jews employees, and that's when all the problems started. We had to eat the minimum portions, and around 1939, my brother had to flee to Mexico. He was only 17 years old, but my parents wouldn't allow me to go with them because I was still little. And during the war, every year was harder, and my dad not only lost his job, but he and my mother had to move to my grandparents' farm. And since I didn't have anything to do in the farm, I had to go to Budapest.
How did they deport you to the concentration camp? In which concentration camp it was?
It was the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. And I remember that we were packing our stuff, that my father said that if we ever saw them again, it would be the best thing that had happened to us. But we never saw them again. First, they joined us in storage rooms, and then they put us in cattle wagons without any light, windows, bathrooms, or food and water. And many people died in our way to Auschwitz. And then we were divided into men and women, and that was the last time I saw my father. and they took away all our belongings. It was very fast, and I didn't know if it was a dream or not. I didn't even recognize my mom when she talked to me because she was bald and naked, but she did recognize me. The kids went to the other line, and we knew it was to the gas chambers. All the time we saw the flames, and we smelled the smoke from the dead bodies.
And that smoke that came out from the chimneys was from the gas chambers?
Yes, it was from the dead bodies that were burned in there. And every day we had to stand in the cold weather so they could count us, but that was just an excuse.
So they wake you up and stand you and all the other people in the cold weather?
Yes, it was 2 times a day. And they said that they were going to count us, but that was just an excuse. And they had us standing there for 3 hours. It was really bad.
Did you ever think about yourself as inferior? Like, did you ever consider your rights even though they didn't exist in that time?
No, well, I always believed that everyone was born equal, no matter their religion. And what you believe in is just what makes you who you are. However, I did feel inferior in the concentration camps but I didn't understand why.
So you never blamed yourself about being Jew?
Of course not. It was just my belief.
Okay. In which conditions did you live during your stay in Auschwitz, and what kind of works you did?
Well, at first I didn't work. We just waited for the guards to take you to the gas chambers. But then they put us in bomb factories.
You worked in a bomb factory?
Yes.
And do you think this event would have been avoidable if someone had just done something different?
Yes, if people had just had an open mind and they would have thought differently, definitely this could have been avoided. And what I went through, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It was the worst thing, and I lived in very bad conditions,
And your disease?
and yes, and I didn't see my family. I didn't know when I was going to die. I didn't know when they were going to take me to the gas chambers. And I didn't know if my mom was going to survive. And I didn't know where my dad was. It was really horrible knowing that I was there without knowing what was happening to my father.
So you never saw your father again?
No.
When was the last time you saw him?
When they separated us, when we went to the cattle wagons.
Okay. Thank you, Lily. This was a very interesting
Trabajo. Allá, no, allá el único trabajo era que como te mueres antes. Hicieron a las 5 de la mañana sacar todo. De repente agarran todo el grupo, de formar, vamos al baño, a las regaderas. Es una como carpa muy grande y las regaderas salen así del techo. Quítate la ropa, deja la ropa allá en el suelo, pásate. Y estás adentro y no sale agua. Y no sale nada. Se les acabó el gas o no sé qué pasó.
Wow, eso es algo.
O nos tocó vida, sencillamente. Porque todos los grupos que estaban afuera no podían creer que nosotros salimos de allá.
Do you think this event could have been done differently, having the knowledge we have today?
No, because if the Holocaust wouldn't have happened, it would be different. Because we wouldn't have that experience that we have today. And we are all human beings and we learn from our mistakes.
Just because if they had the knowledge we have today, they could have an open mind, so they wouldn't have been racist and the Holocaust could have been avoided.
Would you give any advice for the past and future generations to stop an event like this one?
Well, yes. First of all, we need to thank the past generation because we had learned a lot from them. They sacrificed for us so we could learn that being racist is the worst thing that could happen. So advice could be that if they had to do it all over again, they need to do it exactly as they did before.
For the future generation should be that first of all do not be influenced for one person and one thought. Search and investigate for your own. We should not be racist, do less other people just for being different. And not only for the future generations, but for today's generation. We should not discriminate the ones that have different thoughts or capacities.
Thanks.
What part of Lily's testimony surprised you the most and why?
I think the most amazing part is when she went into the gas chamber and she was so lucky that the gas ran over that day. So she still had life. And if that wouldn't have happened, she wouldn't be here today telling us her experience and giving us all her knowledge.
The part that surprised me more was when they went to the concentration camp and they split into women and men, and Lily did not see her father again.